All right, and welcome back. Episode 8.1. I didn't update anything, but we'll put it together afterwards.
Yep, no, that's fine.
Heading towards Lab 1.
Yep. Inside of Lab 1, you see where Lazo's residence is. In the outskirts, you guys don't really have to make a perception check. They're not really hiding. You'd see those two creatures that helped him. They are humans, and they look like they're ratty clothes or whatever. They seem to have been awake with him, is what would be the definition with it, but they don't have any semblance of human consciousness, as you can tell. They just they look to be like they might be protecting him or watching you guys, but
Drones come in all shapes and sizes.
it's not wrong. He then tells you that as he's walking through that is if there's anything you require, I do not require food. Thank you again for the offering, but the chemical experiments that were done at Lab 1 were designed to set up humans for long-distance travel in space. Food becomes a problem on a 17-year mission to Neptune, supposedly. So our cellular structure was designed to be kind of a microbial garden, sustaining off itself. It didn't do much for my complexion. He actually does try to laugh. You realize it's like the first time he's laughed. It sounds like it's like he doesn't remember how to.
I have something that can help with that.
It might negatively affect the chemicals in my bloodstream to do what you did, but I appreciate the offer. As he guides you through, he says, in Lab 2, if you so choose, it was the lab that was done with genetic augmentation. I have not gone in there in quite some time, but be advised, now that the system is degrading for the manifold for the ionic drive, other sections of the facility will probably thaw out. I do not know all the creatures. I have not had full access to the station. He does say that, but if it's anything that's I can assist with, you see him actually motion over to what appears to be a kind of standing pole. I have added sensors to some of the facilities, including engineering. If you have any questions about the facility, walk up to the speaker and I will use the motion sensor to acknowledge that you're there.
Okay.
And you see that as he motions one, he says that there's also one in the rear atrium. If you require any aid from me, let me know. He guides you right to the door of Lab 2, and according to my readings, Lab 2 has been, as he describes it, thawed out for about a day. I do not know what's been in there for a while. The holding areas, as he describes it, and you actually see him pull out a map that looks like the other one, hand-drawn. Digitally hand-drawn, but hand-drawn nevertheless. And you see this area over here he points to, was the holding area for the test subjects, the so-called secondary personnel. There were 4 assigned to the project. I understand that it is possible a couple have moved up into the front atrium. But I know that all 4 test subjects were in the Lab 2 at the time. I don't know if they're still there.
Alright, we'll be prepared for any sort of incursion.
All right, lead on, guys.
Alright, I'll lead the way.
So this is the way, as you guys go through the door, which is motion censored, you guys do realize the air is kind of stale, and you do hear the soft buzzing of what appear to be oxygen units kicked on inside the area. As you guys enter, lights go on up on the ceiling. This was one, actually, all the labs don't appear to have any exterior windows. So all of what you're seeing are motion censored activated lights. It looks similar to this. There is vegetation, but unlike the vegetation in the lobby area, it doesn't look like lights are on much, so a lot of the plant life is dead. Yellow grass, that looks like it's just been left for a long time. Make a perception check.
23.
13.
1.
Bingo's still following you. You see that? You guys see that there's definitely a sign of footprints. You see some doors are damaged. It looks fresh. You can still see cracked paint and everything falling off. You can see that it looks like the footprints go out this way, which is toward the rear annex.
But it's empty.
As far as you can tell,
Proceed with caution.
I'm just gonna leave Andy and Bingo on the side. Andy's staying guarding Bingo.
Yeah,
Bingo is guarding Andy.
we can tell them to wait till we've cleared the room.
Yep. At that perception check, you do hear the sound of footprints. And
So we hear someone approaching.
Yep. It sounds like it's coming through the doorway here, which is broken. You can actually see that,
Like busted open.
yeah,
Oh, okay.
definitely it was damaged open. And you hear footprints.
All right, I'll head up with some caution to try to see if I can't spot what it is before it rounds the corner. Gun ready and stuff.
Yep. So as you walk there, the footsteps, make a perception check. You can too, Fee, because you're up in the kind of front area. Rand's hanging back.
7.
1.
So you
What
hear
did Rand get?
footsteps.
He's here. What do you got?
I'm done with these dice. These dice don't like me today.
He rolled a 15.
Good.
So and you see what you also do here at 7 is it sounds like something's dragging behind the footsteps.
Okay.
Rand takes a look, and you see what appear to be a very large humanoid. Basically, but behind him is being trailed. He tells you behind him is trailed some types of tubing, like he was strapped into a wall.
Does he look hostile? I'd assume so.
He is looking around aggressively. Make a perception check. You specifically.
16.
Connected to a wall.
You notice that your big drone is beginning to make a little noise. And you hear that the grunting and the footsteps start to come in your direction.
I think it can sense electronics. You said it was attached to like a wall via
It
some
looks,
plugs.
from what Rand told you, there are tubing that's as if he was attached to a wall. Like there's tubes dragging behind him.
All right. So, Andy and Co are safe.
Yeah.
All right.
What do you want me to do, boss?
All right. Let's engage. I suppose this thing. I mean, I'm gonna wait for it to act. I'll step out. Kinda.
You actually hear the footsteps increase. You can now see it.
I'll dash out this way.
It sees you. It roars. You see it's
And
got
I'll
a
just
full
shout,
headgear.
engage!
Okay, Fee, you're up first if you want to charge in with him. Do you want to send in the droid or go in?
I'm going,
Knuckles doesn't seem affected. The heavy droid does.
Yeah, I'm going to step back but get myself a good angle to shoot at him.
And like I said, Knuckles you can use, but the big droid, it seems to be... You watch as it kind of starts petering, like it's almost getting drawn from power. It is the thing that's generating the most electricity out of all of you, including your suits and everything.
Mm-hmm.
But yep, so, Fee, you're up. And let's just say this is more flat, this is more of a conference area, so it's coming around this way. And you see this big 9-foot tall person who's got tubing and injection things and a big helmet that looks like it was attached to a wall, and you can still see suds where it looks like it was ripped off.
Okay.
Oh, so it's not still connected.
No.
I was hoping that would be an obvious weak spot.
Yeah, no. It seems to be going off instinct.
Damn, we can't fight him like Bane in the Arkham games.
No, the tubes are actually... You see a bunch of liquids being drained out of the tubes as he's walking.
Oh,
but-
gross.
Yeah, kind of gross. He's even got like some type of container on his back. But yep, so Fee, what are you doing?
I don't want to approach that.
It's coming towards you.
Oh, great.
Can I
So-
try to draw its attention away from the greater group?
Make an intimidation
As I dash
check.
that out that way.
Oh, God.
13? Doesn't have to be intimidation so much as like, hey, ugly, come get me.
It kind of seems to tilt its attention to you and roar
All right, cool.
as it begins to pick up like speed.
I'm booking it that way then.
I still have that taser gun with me, right? I don't know if I grabbed that.
If it's your gear, you...
If it's your gear, yeah, it's on you.
Okay, I'll try shooting him with the taser gun and see if it does anything. So.
Okay.
Oh no. What do I add to it?
If it's a range attack, then
Dex.
Dex and Wisdom to shoot it.
13?
It's not very effective as far as you can tell. The electricity bounces off of it, but as opposed to it seeming to affect it, you watch as the electricity hits him, and then all of a sudden, it roars up and actually seems like it's getting more juiced up.
Okay.
Fun.
No effect. Your turn, man.
Alright, so...
And you're moving over here right now,
Yeah,
so
I
it's
go,
kind of coming after you.
5, 10, 15... I'll move over to here.
Okay.
20 of my 30 movement, and then I'm going to grab my cryo rifle.
Alright.
Since it won't knock me off my feet if I fuck up.
Probably a good idea.
As cool as the strong save gun is. And I'm going to take a shot from one of this thing's knees to try to immobilize it.
Okay.
I was thinking the same thing.
12.
12?
Yeah.
Your shot goes a little wild. He's a big target, but... Yeah, so he doesn't seem... And make a perception check?
First fire from the thing doesn't really connect.
Nope.
Very low. 7 again.
Okay. Don't observe anything. Your turn, man.
I'm gonna pop 3 BBs into my railgun
Okay.
and shoot it at his feet,
Okay.
so that way it frosts up the ground around him, making it very difficult to terrain.
Okay, roll.
19 plus... So that's 22 to hit. Actually, 28 to hit in
Yep.
total.
You shoot a bunch of the ice BBs at the ground. His right foot is entirely encased in ice. The area around it's all basically trying to...
I'm not even concerned about damage. I just wanted to do an immobilizing.
Yep. He begins to try to step forward towards Reynolds, and he just stops completely. You see the ice crack a little bit, but it's holding him.
So one foot's frozen, the other one's slippery.
Yep.
We'll do a pratfall.
Rand runs forward, seeing that he's immobilized.
Get his not frozen leg.
Yep, solid hit. So Rand runs up with his sword as it, smokes at the cryo, and he slashes at him. He went for basically his side, and you watch as his sword cleaves a slice through him. The blood that you see coming out of him is not normal colored. It actually looks more like the nanotech, the blood that you saw at the base of the skulls for those subjects.
Black and flaky.
Black and flaky, almost like it's dehydrated. You see powder coming out of the wound, like when he moves, as if it's kind of jostling out. But,
This dude's gross.
fuck. Confirm. I just rolled two. Okay.
Alright, yeah, we're about to get our asses kicked.
Yeah, this is gonna hurt. So,
Die.
without even thinking, the creature
Come at me.
two-handed grabs Rand.
Oh, okay.
And then, with
Throw.
Rand just could not even counter anything. Gets picked up and he gets thrown and smashes into you.
Oh, great.
Even after I was trying to make myself a target.
It went for it because it decided moving wasn't wise and rolled 2 nat 20s.
So is it Ram flying at me, or is it the big guy
It's
flying
Rand flying at you. Make
at
an
me? Can I try
agility
to
check.
catch him?
You can make an agility
Just
check to get
catch
out
him.
of the way.
Okay.
I mean, honestly, the speed he was thrown at you.
22?
Okay, so you're taking half damage.
Okay.
But you're able to get out of because it rolled a crit. It was a nat 20, so you're getting hit. But basically, yeah. So Rand, you see that even with his armor of his shoulder pads and everything, there are cracks in it from how big this creature just smashed onto his arms. Throw him into you. You're able to get out of most of the way as Rand goes flying at you and hits the wall. So you take 7 damage. There's a post-it note there if you want. I made sure to supply those notes.
No.
And now let's see how's Rand doing. Rand is still kind of trying to get to his feet, but it rocked him. And that was 14 damage for him.
Did Rand drop his sword when he got hit?
No.
Damn, I was gonna grab it and join the fight.
All right.
Sword if you want it.
I also realized I never gave Rendell to melee weapon, so.
I have a sword if you want it.
You see that although the
Oh.
creature with all this movement is still cracking the ice, you see that it actually is trying to like almost reverse, not rip it out, but break it down. Like he's trying to force through it. The ice is cracking, but it's still holding right now. Your turn, Fee.
Okay,
And because you just got hit by Rand flying into you, you're at half movement, just so you know.
oh, okay.
Because that just bounced you.
I'm gonna try to stun him with the end of my staff and then swing at his head with the second
Metagame
one.
moment. Electricity has not been effective.
Okay, then I'll
Go
show
for the
him.
ice. Go for the ice. That's
Ice.
all.
Ice.
That's probably a better bet. I'm just.
I get 2 attacks.
I'm glad
right?
everyone likes the cryo weapons.
Yeah, they're handy.
I have my dex.
In space.
Yep,
It's all
that
cold.
hits.
So the first one hits.
All right.
And then, what about a 15? 16 and then a 15.
16 hits, 15 doesn't.
Okay.
Yeah.
$11 with ice.
Okay. So you swing your spear, your staff. First swing connects. You watch as you smash into his shoulder. Ice particles stick out of his shoulder, and you can tell it was a good solid hit. When you swing around for another hit, it misses. He's able to kind of shift his body back out of the way. Your turn, man.
Alright, I'm gonna get in a little closer, and I'm gonna try to put a cryo bullet in his still frozen leg.
Okay.
Just so he loses mobility with it and stops trying to wrench himself free.
Yep.
Like, I basically want to cap him in the knee.
Yeah, okay, that's fine.
Nat 1. My cryo gun explode?
No, but it jams. As you're going to eject the bullet,
Click.
it clicks. And you realize that a bullet, it's going to take you... It only going to take you just the end of your turn to dislodge the bullet. You're basically just sitting there trying to ram the bullet out of the chamber.
This is useless, I go for the pistol.
Okay. That's fine too, you can just sling it.
I'll just sling it over my head and go for the pyro pistol.
I am going to load in another couple BBs because I can shoot multiple with this thing at
Yep.
once. And I'm going to aim for his other foot.
Right now, Fee's in your way, you're going to have to motate.
You
And
can shoot it through me if you want.
Alright, if
You're really
he's in
not
my way,
desperate.
then I will shoot
Roll for
for...
intangibility.
his right leg is still exposed if you move, so that's the one that's already frozen. You can just add more ice to it.
Try to ice up his arms.
I'll just go for his face.
Okay.
It works.
That's effective.
Yep, you do see he is wearing a metal helmet. So that looks to be from the device that had him in the wall. That was what the struts and stuff are. But yeah, go for it.
That's fine. Ice covering a helmet is still...
Still probably fucked up
Blinding.
his vision.
Yep, no, that's true.
So, yeah, that's a 7. That doesn't do much.
Nope, your shots go over his head to the right. Ping off of the wall over
There's
here.
a chair in the back of this lab that's all fucked up now.
Or
Okay.
that hang in there sticker poster that's just frozen solid.
One guy gets up, "It's okay, guys, I survived the whole time."
Rand tries
some
to
random
go around
scientist.
behind him to swing his sword. He lost half his movement from getting up off getting his ass handed to him. So,
Frozen rat stuck to the wall.
alright. One arm swings out. It looks like maybe he was trying to hit Rand, but missed. What's your DCs, Fee?
My DC.
The AC.
AC,
My
sorry.
AC 15.
So, you see him actually trying to kind of lunge forward as most as he could, and he manages to swing an arm and catch you with it. Make an agility check and take 8 damage.
Oh, 8 damage.
8 damage, and just make an agility check.
Not 20.
You manage to recover immaculately from his backhanded swing at you. You just land about 5 feet back like a cat,
Okay.
fully prone, no damages, no negatives. So, but you did take the damage because it was a solid hit. Yep. Your turn. No negatives because of that hit, so.
Okay, well,
Since
since
I didn't take a bonus action or any other action, after she gets hit back, can I use like a reaction to take one of my random grenades and like hand it off to her since she's right next to me?
you're gonna hand someone a grenade who doesn't know what a grenade is.
Yep.
A random grenade.
Yep.
So you have no idea the effect.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know what they are. I got a box of random grenades.
That was you, I think.
That's my bad. I gave that to him.
Yeah. Here, pull the pin. Throw it. I have no idea what it'll do.
What about the other two?
Make a perception
to you.
check, Fee and Greg.
A lot of 7s.
23.
11.
Ever since I switched dice, I've been doing good.
You notice coming in from this door, drawing by the noise, is another creature. He's not as big as the other one, and you see that this one has more straps with IVs that are dangling, as opposed to a giant head unit.
Does he look like the one that helped us earlier?
No. This one is also growling and approaching the group. It's not as big, and it looks more emanciated than the big one.
Can I throw the grenade I just got at that guy?
Do you want to pull the pin first? Because you never told her that, so she has no idea.
I
Oh,
just
you
said.
did? Oh, I'm sorry. I
So
missed
just gonna
that.
I just
yank
said
out
you
the
pull
pin
the
Okay,
pin and
pull the
throw
pin.
it. I have no
Okay.
idea what it
and then
does.
just
Yes,
whip
you-
it straight at that thing's head.
Yep. No, that's fine.
Do I
Okay.
need a
I
dex?
just didn't know if there was a pinball
I
discussion.
call it a ranged attack.
Yep, it's a ranged attack.
So it would be dex, right?
Sorry, I'm trying to not backseat GM.
No problem.
9.
9. How do you know what effect it is? Or do I just make one up for fun?
I'd say just come up with something. Come up with a couple, roll a die. I don't know.
It was from Solo's box of.
Oh, I
random
get that.
grenades.
So, okay. Holy shit, that actually worked. So she throws the grenade. It manages. The guy walks into it. It's a smoke grenade.
Okay.
But you realize pretty quickly that it is very effective. For some reason, the creature, as he goes into it, starts convulsing. You actually start coughing up that black liquid shit that it has inside of it. What it was chafe.
Was what?
Chafe. Magnetized lead shards. Basically, anti-magnetics.
Oh, and they've got nanotech in
So
them.
the thing stops full motion
It's just
and
pulling the
loses
blood out of it
half
like
its
an,
health.
like an X2
Yeah.
when Magneto kills the security guard.
Basically. It loses half its health. It's still moving,
She's
but
looking
slower.
horrified at it and
As
looking at you.
its black
Holy-
shit is coming out of its eyes now.
Holy shit, Jerry, that was awesome!
She's looking at you. If that had gone off near me, that would have been my skin and hair
Thank-
and lips and nails
Thanks,
and
Solo.
eyes.
Thanks, Solo's box of random grenades, man.
Meanwhile, I'm just like, holy shit, Jerry, that was awesome!
Yep.
Nice kill!
It's not dead yet. He's half health.
Nice attack!
But
Solo
yeah, it's
goods. You
black
never know how
gunk
good
is
it's
coming
gonna
out of its
be.
eyes now as it's charging forward. Thankfully, the wind is going towards it, but it's now clearing it. So, but it's damaged. It's now limping. You watch like its leg seizes up. But your turn now.
Oh, okay.
You went right.
Yeah, threw the grenade.
Yep.
I was just rolling the dice.
And if that was your first time
throwing.
throwing a grenade, I'll say that that was your turn.
I'm gonna run around to meet this. Well, actually, no, that's a poor choice because the smoke is still there.
It disperses pretty quickly.
Okay.
There's not a lot of it.
So I
It's
can
a
go
small
over there
grenade.
without detriment?
Yeah.
So then I'm gonna, like...
By the time you get there, the smoke is dispersed.
I'm gonna
It was
crouch
only
around
meant
this
to
guy,
give you
10,
like
15,
5
20,
seconds of.
25, 30. Yeah, I'm gonna...
And it's a chaff grenade. It wouldn't affect you too much anyway.
Yeah,
Not
I'm
you
gonna,
at all.
I'm gonna
Might
run over,
mess
to,
with your HVAC.
run over to this one and I'm gonna try to blast it with the pyro handgun.
Okay.
You know, it's kind of like the
Everyone else kind of
surprise
has the
of.
big guy covered.
It seems like the same kind of surprise of. Oh no! I splashed the Wicked Witch of the West with some water.
24 to hit.
Yep. That's probably gonna kill it, but at this point, roll damage, and add another d6.
Okay. I almost rolled max damage, so that's 12.
Yep.
Plus, what's my dexterity score? 2, 14, 18.
How do you want to do
I
this?
fired one shell.
I know.
I feel like at this point, I just run up, I pretty much stick the gun in this thing's face as it's hacking all of its weird goo out, and I just blast the top of its head off. This gun fires, this is a pistol that fires
at
shotgun
close
shells.
range, make a con save.
Okay.
I'm not gonna lie, when you describe that, I have to make you do a con save.
14? It's also a pyro gun, so he's also
Yeah.
going up in flames.
But you shot it at close range with a headshot. With a shotgun. You get kind of splashed with black liquid. Mind you, you're wearing your Mars AVA suit, so it's not unpleasant. You don't even notice. But yeah, you blow his head off,
I'm covered in the
and his
gross
body
guts.
goes flying and smashes into the wall. And it's probably about this far around its head chest, and there's like this charred, flaming cacophony of black
Neutralized.
muscle.
We're all good.
Alright, your turn, man. You can move in the room if you wanted to target its other leg or something, but...
I think I get a pretty good shot on it.
Yep.
I'm just gonna take a straight ass shot at it. I'm pretty sure a 22 hits.
Yep. Solid hit. How much damage? You do 2 or 3 pellets?
I hear a whimsical soundtrack.
I don't know.
– 12 points of damage. 3 of which are frost.
Okay. So your bullets just pepper it in the chest. You watch as pieces of its flesh break apart. And you watch as icicles start forming in the wounds that you just put into it. It's roaring in anger. You realize that the noise it's making is also because the helmet's in it. It can't really move its mouth much. It looks like it was set into that helmet for a long time.
Let's put this poor thing out of his misery, folks.
Rand runs up. And just misses with his soul.
Don't you get 2 attacks?
I do, I think, actually. But yeah, so he's gonna try to do a stabbing attack. That hits. And as he sticks in the cryo sword, he twists the blade, and you watch as icicles spark out of it. So that's a 14 damage. So this creature is starting to slow up. You watch as it basically is starting to leak that black goo. And, yeah, basically it's down to 12 HP now. So it does one more lunging swing at either you or Aran, which misses you. The other thing is he tries to do a swinging backhand to Aran and hits him. Ran's getting beat up a lot. So for 8 damage. Yep. Now...
It's a Sam game. Every time there's a Sam game, his NPCs get mollywomped.
Yeah.
And Ran ends up flying and actually landing on the body of the guy that's still on his feet, basically.
Especially the NPCs he likes.
Yeah, right? It's almost dangerous for me to even use my PCs in the game.
Yeah.
So
Well, it's like back during Anomalization. Whenever somebody would run a session of Anomalization and
their PC almost died.
they NPC'd out their character, they would get killed. Happened with Jake, Lydia, and me.
Yeah, you guys have the opposite luck that I do. My NPCs, whenever I play one, they become OP. Whenever his poor NPCs come in, they end up getting like
Into shit.
PO'd.
Your turn, Feet.
I'm gonna walk a bit closer to him since I have to get range, and then I'm gonna swing at his kneecaps with my staff.
Okay.
And it's add my dex and strength to it.
Con.
My dex and con.
You hit. I can tell you that.
Yeah, dirty 20.
Yep,
For
you
the first
hit.
one.
Roll damage?
I need the second hit too.
Yep. Okay. Also hits.
So that one's so it's a dirty 20 and a 22.
Yep. So you hit on both strikes. How do you want to do it? I can describe it to you if you wish, but...
Yeah. Well, if that was all that needed to kill him, then could I have just aimed for the back of his neck or something to obliterate his neck to right at that guy's wrist?
Sure. So as
I
you
got a dirty
you
20
move
to
around
twice
behind
here.
him and you swing your spear right into his back. As it connects, you watch his icicles rip off his skin. Black goo comes out, and then with your other strike, you kind of go again at the same spot, and you can see, and you can actually see too.
I'm directly behind
The
her,
way
so
she
yeah.
hits it so hard at the second strike, you watch as basically pieces of his throat get burst out with icicles, and the guy
I
basically
see it as like the
Yeah,
gore.
you see-
the gore explodes
and then freezes. So there's basically a black blood spatter that stops, freezes up, and then the creature just
That's so
falls.
gross. It's awesome.
And both the creatures are now, and the creature you watch as its blood leaks out, and but you do see little static electricity coming off his blood as then it comes to a dead still.
She's taking notes on the electric blood.
Good work, team.
Ryan gets up after a minute, still like basically.
You okay,
taking-
boss?
I did not expect that guy to be able to get me twice. Ouch.
Is everyone
Sorry to
okay?
catch
Anyone need
you.
a med kit?
No, I should be all set.
Oh,
for
by the
now.
way, I will
I'm
actually
at
tell
35.
the
I'm-
group
I'm-
the stuff.
I may need one.
Oh,
Do you need one?
I mean, I went from 50 to 35, so it's like I may need one, but I'm unsure. I think I could heal
I
one.
toss you a med kit. It gives you plus 2d8.
So I just roll a d8 twice.
Yep.
Yeah.
And then add that to your HP.
You don't have to use it right now if you don't want to. But
I
if you,
get a whole 3 points.
When I went into that storage room to grab some things, I found some. They were like advanced hypomed shots.
they heal just 15 flat hit points.
Thank you.
They also give you resistance to being stunned for 3 rounds, and advantage on strength and dex rolls for 3 rounds. I'm getting the effect right.
Yep.
I think it's
So I'm
basic.
back up to.
It's adrenaline.
Yeah, it's basically an adrenaline.
It's
shot.
adrenaline with medical stuff put into it, really. That's all
So
it is.
EpiPen.
Basically, yeah.
Okay.
2 of those.
So, as everyone, basically, if you guys want, you guys can look around the lab. At this point, you don't see any or hear any other movement.
Okay.
This lab, there was a bunch of computers. And you see that basically they seem to turn on when they're active. Now, if you want your any of the drones, mind you, the minute that these guys are officially dead, your big drone, it powers back up and doesn't seem to have any things.
okay. No, I'm gonna wait to download everything until after we're all done.
Okay.
After we're all done, I'm gonna download everything that's on their computer system, all their information, all their logs, all their research, and I'm going to. You'll see. I have a plan.
Sounds good. So yep, after you guys are finished in the lab, basically you can tell that other than that, the doorway to leave the atrium and you can make your way up to that way.
Nothing in this room?
This room, it looks to be an amphitheater. And done for probably experimentation showing and
Alright, so that puts us through lab 1.
lab 2. That's where you guys are at now.
Okay.
So you guys have options to
Now-
go to lab 3 or through the lower atrium. Those are your 2 basic options.
Well, the
Or-
rear atrium gives us the quicker route to the engine room.
Yeah, alright, so we can take that way. It's a shorter path.
Okay.
So it's up to you guys.
Yeah, that's fine.
In the lower atrium, you see that it's basically, just for example's sake, not that I actually need anything. It actually seems to be a communal gathering area. You don't see much in there in the way of technology or experiments. It seems to be what would be a meeting area, gathering area. The plant life is still alive.
What do you think? This place is gonna look awesome when it's 50 feet up, isn't it?
Yeah, I think once everything gets fixed, it'll be pretty impressive.
It's fully,
Lot
doesn't appear
A
to
lot
be
of
any
corpses to
activity.
clean up.
Well, and that's,
It's not a big deal.
I mean, the funny thing is, you haven't seen much for biological remains. Most of these places, and you realize, even then, you still feel a chill in the air, like the environmental systems were just added. Or just reactivated.
Oh, okay.
At that moment, you see that,
What did these scientists have motorcycles for?
yeah, I know, it's just a random map. But,
Seems pretty unsafe on a space station.
but
like
you see
this.
a restaurant, there's a bar that you see that you can travel through, that's right here. It looks like this was some type of, like, this was a long-term science facility, so people stayed here for years at a time, so they tried to make it as comfortable as possible. Lower atrium doesn't appear to be destroyed. You can see what appears to be on the ceiling of it. Looks to be some indentations. on the side closest to the dock, probably the remains of one of the escape shuttles that probably crashed into it, or it could be a meteorite. Mind you, this thing has been traveling in space for 80 years. So there is a chance that there was some damage of things that ricocheted off of it.
Nothing hostile though. Nothing of
Nope,
interest.
you find actually nothing. And you guys can see once you guys enter the lower atrium, you can see that through the way there is the signs to the engineering.
Excellent. So let's find this tunnel here to the engine room.
Basically, behind the bar, you notice there's a sign that says service tunnel. And that's how you get to the engineering.
Isn't it completely fitting that we have to take the alley behind the bar?
Yeah.
Yep. It seems to be something they used to move equipment through. It's a service tunnel. It's only approximately 7 feet wide by about 8-10 feet tall, just tunneling underground.
Knuckles, check out the tube. Make sure it's clear all the way to the next end.
As far as you can tell, once you go through the tunnel, there's nothing there. There's just a door with a motion sensor.
Okay. So then, let's go.
Alright.
Knuckles be waiting for us at the end.
Actually, 2 of these. There's another one. Thank you.
And that'll bring us to the engine room. And this is where Adam,
Laza?
no, our guy,
Oh, Andy.
Andy,
Yep.
is going to have to get to work.
So this is where you guys come up. It's
Sorry, I just need to double check my own paperwork.
Yep, so it comes up. You guys see that over here are basically the nodules for the ionic drive. And that's the entire section. It's a bunch of giant mechanisms that you can see have a power. Andy tells you that the access point is this way. And then basically says that he's going to need a few minutes to set the power distribution and then heading to the bridge. The bridge is over this way.
Okay.
Um,
That's fine. We can give a cursory glance around while.
Definitely, I'll head over towards the bridge entrance and set my drones to scan the crap out of this room too.
I'll go do a sweep of like this way, just to make sure there's no hostiles.
okay, make a perception check. You see that Bingo heads next to...
Sorry, I'm gonna be sneezing a lot.
That's fine.
How dare you?
Ram
10
heads
on my
with you.
perception.
10?
Yeah.
This hasn't been used in a long time. You can go to one of the monitors and see that the timer for activity has only actually been a week.
Oh, okay.
So that's how long until the system's going on standby will only deactivate a week ago.
I'll carry on down this way.
Okay, Rand's with you. Do you want to go with the group exploring?
Yeah, I rolled a 19 for perception. I don't know if the perception thing was for everyone or not.
Yep, it was. As you guys are coming around the corner, an automated door, you see that it seems to be a storage area for engineering. Mind you, you do see the box here, which is those relays that Laza mentioned.
Oh, we should grab those then.
Yep, your big droid can carry it. You can just basically strap to the base.
Yeah, I'll grab it on the way out.
Yep. Basically at that point,
My first concern is let's stabilize this place.
Yeah.
Yep.
We can do
So
a sweep and clear afterwards.
I just thought we'd give a glance around while Andy was working.
Andy is on the computer. You see Bingo's there, and a moment later, where have I find a mini? Oh. Actually, at this point, Amy shows up and is assisting Andy. They're talking techno jargon that is so advanced, none of you understand it. And you can just hear them talking as you're scanning
And
the
there's a
door.
drone watching him anyway.
Yep. So basically, as you're going, that perception check you made, you hear the sounds of scratching, and you hear an automated motion door activate.
She's now looking around, kind of paranoid.
Do you tell the party? Because
Hey guys, I heard a scratching sound and then the sound of a door opening. What the fuck?
We'll kill it.
yep, and you see
No.
It's I'm far away from everybody.
Splitting the party.
It's okay, we have a group of 3 going to see where that scratching sound is. We should be okay.
I'm not a combatant. Technically.
So
Says you
you
have
see
really good
climbing over
weapons.
some of the boxes. in that door you saw, you see two of those creatures. Actually, well, only two of them. Two of these creatures that that Lazo showed you on the security feed. The atrium door isn't locked. You guys realize that it was just motion sensor activated, so they just came into the room. These guys are scary. One of them's on a perch, and another one is crawling through.
They see us?
Yes. I just rolled a nat 20 on one of them. I'm just giving that to both.
Damn it.
Yep, so they're both hissing and growling at you. These creatures look like animal experiments gone wrong. Like they are humanoid as far as you can tell, but their skin looks like it's been deflated right to their musculature, and they have extensions and bone growths all over their body. They are very grotesque. Your turn.
She's gonna. Can she stand sort of like lined up with this one?
It's elevated, so if you're shooting at it, it's gonna be a little bit higher DC. Because it's kind of crouched on a box. You can just see the top of its head and its claws as it's grinding on the box. It's kind of perched. You do see another one walking over here, though.
Can she try to use like her stun knife and like throw like a throwing knife and see if she hits it in the eye?
Is this the first time you've ever thrown a knife?
Yeah, but I
It
think
would
if
probably
I
be
throw,
a disadvantage, but yes.
If I throw a grenade well, I should be able to throw a knife well. I don't know.
Do it, I believe in you.
You said at disadvantage.
You have a weather gun.
That's
It was
true.
like-
But
Yep, disadvantage if you want to try.
and then I add dexterity and what else?
And
to it?
con.
What about 16?
That hits.
Okay.
Roll damage. So it'd be whatever the damage is for the stun knife, and
Yeah, it's
Terry
a
cast lightning
D6.
bolt.
6 damage of stun.
it'd be plus your dex too.
Oh. 9.
9? Okay.
9 stun damage. It doesn't get paralyzed though.
It rolled its con check, and it doesn't seem very effective. The knife is still sticking in its shoulder, by the way. Like, you got it, stuck the knife in. It doesn't seem effective, and eventually it shakes itself off, and the knife falls. Just so it's right here. Your turn, man.
Turn to Ran. Hey, boss, I forgot to pack I packed a bunch of guns. I didn't pack any melee weapons. You still have your batons?
I just reach in behind my cloak, I guess, and hand it to him.
Rad, I'll grab the batons and I'll...
What? You need a sword?
I mean, you're way
You're
over
way over
here.
there, man.
What?
Yeah.
I don't think anyone, especially
You
in
shout
this
about a
area, would
horde?
hear us from
I mean,
over
there's
there,
also
right?
motion sensor doors
Huh?
between you guys.
Did you
cannot
shout about
hear.
a horde? What's going on?
Yeah, you're through 2 motion sensor doors, so they can't hear you. Well, if you want to come out, I mean, you could probably... I don't know if you
I
hear
wouldn't
them.
be able to hear them either.
Yeah.
I'm unaware.
So he's perched up on that thing?
Yep.
Can I run forward and try to leap up and bonk him on the head?
Make an
Please?
agility check to see if you can kind
Call
of...
that athletics?
Sure.
Do a
Smack you right
Yep.
into the box below it.
21.
Yeah. So even with the added DC difficulty, if you're trying to swing up there for a nat, you smash him.
I
More
imagine,
damage.
I imagine the suit has like really weak thrusters in the feet for moving around in space, so it's just kind of like a little rocket jump.
Okay, so D8 plus 3 plus Dex.
I was going for like a
Oh, double
Twin,
strike?
so-
Okay, so 2D8 plus 3 plus Dex.
2d8, so 2,
I mean, it was a complex action.
8
So
plus d6. You said?
Plus
Dex.
Well, plus dex. 10.
Okay.
Um,
Plus 3.
plus 3, so it'd be.
13.
Wait a minute. Okay, I'm sorry. It's a lot of numbers.
No problem.
So it was 2d8
Yep.
plus dex plus 3.
Yep.
So it was 10 plus 4 plus 3, so 17.
Okay. As the thing is trying to kind of reel back, you smash it. Both the shock goes out and the creature just twitches out.
Does he fall off this perch?
Yep.
Shit, stop him!
He's stunned at the moment. You did a lot of damage, and he's still has that black stuff coming out of the wound in his shoulder from where the knife was stuck in.
Stop the motherfucker.
Carp, stop him!
Any actions you want to do, man? I know you're not in the fight, but
I'm checking out the doorway going into towards the bridge, and if the door opens, I'm gonna send Knuckles down to check the hallway to the bridge to make sure everything's okay.
okay.
You hear Reynolds Shab curb stomp him from very far away.
There's two
There's
doors.
two doors.
I know.
There's no way he
I just
can
like
do
the
it.
idea of that echoing down the
Hearing
hallway.
like muffled screaming.
Yeah, I'm barely hearing like what he's doing with the computer.
I think the only likely one that would be able to hear us is the dog
Yep.
because of their hearing.
And right now he's just sitting there next to Andy, so he's not really up.
He's being
Um,
a good boy.
Oh,
So-
can we say I pulled the knife out of it and slid it back to you?
Yeah.
Yep.
She thanks him and takes a knife and goes and looks at the body of the weird thing.
Rand tries to actually with an execute. I can do that because he's that single digits.
But we
So
all
Rand
start
basically
stomping
curb
on it.
stomps it, and
We all gather around and kick it for like 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Until it's just a meaty pile.
Oh shit!
We completely forget about his buddy.
And his buddy's just up close
Fuck him up.
watching us.
Fuck him up.
As his buddy fucks up Rand.
Yeah.
The solar shroud's not doing too well.
No,
It's
and
a rough day for
the
the
other
Solar
creature
Shroud.
does a leaping pounce onto Rand, brings its claws down and slashes Rand, and you actually even see blood. Like it was a deep cut because he's already beaten up and his arms getting.
Wow.
So that's another 8 damage that he
Yeah,
just took.
kids, he didn't ask for one.
He's okay for Hellfire now. So
I'll offer him a med kit after this.
After this, he'll take it. But oh yep, and yep. So basically, your turn.
Okay. I'm gonna go up to the thing that's now on Rand, right?
Yep.
I'm just gonna start wailing on it with my staff.
All right, go ahead.
Oh, 4 for the first one, that doesn't hit. Shit. Can I even roll that one that bounced? Both of them are shitty. It's a 4 and a 7. I don't do shit. I
No.
think I just accidentally smack Rand instead.
No, you didn't fumble.
In
Did you
trying to
roll
not
one?
hit Rand.
Yeah.
You
And
do.
the thing's on top of him, so it's like, what do you expect me to do?
Yep, so
Start
basic.
beating the shit out of it, but I accidentally started beating the shit out of Rand instead. I'm helping the enemy.
Okay, Rand's able to dodge your blows, but you see him really confused as he's trying to hold back the creature and dodge you. Your turn, man.
Alright, so I'm gonna vault over the dead one. And I wanna try to just fucking grab this thing and tear it off of Rand.
Okay, yeah,
Make an
because
ath-
he's
Can I make an
basically-
athletics roll to do that?
Yep.
Suplex it.
I shout oorah as I try to.
Okay.
9, roll good. 11.
So as you go to grab him,
I like hands around the waist. I try to yank it off of him into like a. What do you fucking call the wrestling move?
Suplex.
A suplex.
so as you do that though and get around him, its feet, its rear hind legs clench into the ground, and it's like, "Ugh, stop. He's not moving. Then you see its head turn, and it bites you.
Oh shit!
Like it doesn't have cartilage in the back of its neck. Like
So
it
its head
turns
spins
almost
around like an
360
owl.
and then just clamps onto you for
That's
6
horrifying.
damage.
Oh my god.
As it does bite.
So now is it clamped onto me too?
Yep, it's still holding on to Ryan, and its neck is clamped onto
Beating
you.
the shit out of
But
both
you have
of
advantage on attacks because it's basically distracted. You're basically flanking it at all points right now because its head is one way and its arms are on the other. But yes, it's literally holding you both. I rolled a nat 20 for his recovery on your grab, dude. So it just turned its head and bit you. Yeah.
So now we're just a big old pile of violence.
So kind of. You get
My hallway
Knuckles.
exploration, is it eventful?
Yeah, no, it's according to that, the hallway, as the drone is going, the lights turn on. It has atmosphere. It gives you the readings. And it doesn't have a big. It's only a
just all gonna
small
be stuck
drone, so
together
it doesn't
by
have
the end
enough
of
of a
it.
physical presence to open the door, but it's clear to the door.
It's
Okay.
got like its arms on Rand, its
Then I'll
mouth
get
on
down
my
the
neck,
hallway.
and I was just gonna like stick out a foot and
Because I have
stab
no idea
you.
the rest of
And
this is
it's
going
still
on.
like a wild
Yeah, no, it's
spinning
true.
down at it and
My
missing
drone
every
does,
time.
but I'm not paying attention to it at the moment.
You can do this because you're not in active combat, but you're actually watching now. Now that Andy's been on the computer, the lights are actually pulsing. They're turning on, and actually for a moment the hallway is well lit, like as if it was active because it's an enclosed hallway. But in the lights kind of flicker, you actually see a couple monitors on the wall light up. It looks like Rand's doing a preliminary startup of the subsystems in order to do the dispersal of energy. you can still vaguely hear him and Andy talking to Amy in techno jargon. You know, this fuse here connected to a circuit breaker. This yada. It's high intelligence stuff. So, Ran, let's see if he can get. Nope, he cannot get away from this thing. So even though he's trying to fight this thing's arms, which are basically kind of bone spurs more or less, are just grabbed and holding. Fortunately, it lets go of you.
Oh, cool.
Its jaw unclamps as it tries to go and actually tries to bite.
Oh,
Fuck. Yeah, Rand's getting fucked. So that's another 8 damage on Rand as the thing lets go of you, spins its head back around, and clamps onto her. And you realize that you're wearing plate armor. Its tooth marks are through the plate. As it bites into Rand, you realize its teeth, which appear to be like more teeth than a human should have. There's like, it's like monkeys. That's
He's
all I
got,
would
he's got
describe
like a
it.
creepy Shin Godzilla mouth.
Yeah, as it bites
Or
and
like a shark
bites
mouth
into
with,
the.
like, the double rows of
Yeah,
teeth.
it has double rows of teeth. It seems like genetic experimentation gone wrong. And yep, so Bran is getting hurt, but
As it lets go of me, I'll
you
take a
can
step,
take a step
back,
back,
so
yep.
you aren't risking hitting both me and Ran.
Yep, so Rand basically calls out, "Kill this fucking thing!"
She's gonna aim for the creature's head and hopefully not hit Van.
Okay,
First one misses. It wasn't very. Second one misses too.
That
okay.
dice doesn't like you.
No, it doesn't. It was doing good and then it started being a bitch.
Alright, go ahead. You can pistol whip this thing too. You don't always have to shoot if you're afraid.
I'm gonna grab the rifle off my back because it's bigger and
Time to try the
basically
key
hold
dice.
it by the barrel and just whack it in
Time
the
to try
spine.
key dice.
Alright, go for the
Key
roll.
dice. The key dice.
Would I have any sort of bonus to this because it's so
Strength.
focused on
Use your
Rand?
strength. Yeah, yeah. I'll take advantage.
Cool. Take a 12. You know, my second one was almost really high, and then it flipped over to a 1. So
Alright, give me one more roll.
10.
Even though after you try to swing it, you go back for another swing, the creature, you watch as its head or its eyes more or less, you realize it has no eyelids.
God, the first one went down so easy.
It actually moves under your swing as it's kind of watching you while still trying to push up against Rand.
The first one was such a chump. We just can't touch this one.
I think we killed this one's little brother or something. It was weird.
Jesus. The thing actually ends
like
up
in,
pole vaulting off its rear feet while holding on to Rand and pushes him to the ground and 7 feet back.
It's like in a video game, if there's a boss battle that's 2 guys and you kill one first, the other gets stronger.
Yeah.
God, this is gonna be an awesome video.
So Rand is having trouble. Let's just put it that way. He can't even get it off him, and the thing is pushing onto him. What's your droid's actions right now? The big one.
The big one is just monitoring the entire area, making, in the exit where we came in.
You notice at this point, because of the noise, your drone was triggered to investigate what the noise was because it was screaming.
He has a drone with him that's connected up to my network.
Oh,
and
so
she
he's-
has a drone connected up to the network.
I know, but
So my drones know what's going on.
yep.
I'm just not paying attention to them.
Okay, so your drone radios into the big drone that, problem basically as Rand is screaming as this thing is trying to bite him into him. And the drone enters. You watch as this creature, though, when the droid comes in, actually lets go of Rand and jumps onto a box, watching in fear. But
Can I order my drone to try to get closer to it? I look up to it, I'm like, computer, go!
do you do that? The drone
Seems
goes
like
out
it's
6 feet and comes back. I rolled a 1 for its understanding of your command. You're like, go! It did! And then comes back. You didn't, you said go. It went 3 feet forward as you requested.
It's hooked up to my computer system, my ship AI, so
Yeah.
it has the same mentality as Knuckles.
You told it to go. Knuckles is with you, though.
Mm-hmm.
So,
But it's off of Ren, though.
Yep, it is. And after a few seconds, it starts moving back and you hear it scurrying away. The drone just walks in and completely irrelevant to the actions of that creature.
It grew legs.
No,
It floats in.
It floats in.
Okay, sorry.
It floats in. It naturally scans the creature, and it actually reads a SCS tag on it.
Is the dead creature even recognizable at this point? Since
Oh
we're
God, no!
stomping the shit
But
out
it
of
has an implant,
Okay.
and it according to the data, because this is the first time that any wireless signal has been received by any of your drones since you've been here, but it gets a ping. This is Senior Researcher Park, one of the research staff that worked under the leaders. It
Okay.
appears that this was one of the scientists, not the SCS guys, not the blue coats, one of the other regular researchers.
Then the ship's logging that in the information, and I'm paying attention to the hallway over here.
Yep.
Completely oblivious to it.
I'll go help Ran up.
He's
And
kind
I'll
of
hand him the advanced typo med shot.
we got these on recon missions. You see him actually kind of aim for a spot where there's a hole in his armor and stab it in.
So he gets 15 HP, resistance to stun for 3 rounds, and advantage on strength and dex rolls for 3 rounds.
But I know we're exiting combat, so.
He says, "That's the good shit." As he takes a moment, you see that it's already, you can see some of his bruising going away, and the bite marks don't seem to be bleeding anymore.
Needs a Curtis cuff.
So yeah, otherwise you don't see any movement. The creature, the scurrying kind of gets a little quiet, and you hear what sounds like a exhaust cover being ripped off somewhere in the facility. Mind you, this is the engineering.
They're
this is
in
a
the
big room.
vents.
But
I think.
otherwise, it goes quiet.
Alright, so this is.
You beat me to the alien session. This is
Not trying to be. These aren't aliens.
No, but it's
as you guys realize,
it's
these are all
basically like the
people
first
from the station.
alien where it was in the ventilation shaft.
At this moment, you see Andy walks in, asking if everyone's okay,
Uh,
Where were you?
setting up the system for the subsystem power up.
Look at this weird thing that we just mutilated.
He looks over
it's
with
just
it.
so fucked up.
You do see that eventually, but Bingo walks in and Amy appears. And you actually see a little part that seems to be on the collar, a little projector. That's how Amy is projecting herself through Bingo. And she walks over to it. According to the ping, this is one of the senior researchers. But the genetic makeup is from experiments of Lab 3. Researcher would have no reason to be experiments related to Lab 3. She was assigned, as it says, it was a female, was assigned to Lab 2. Possible contamination in Lab 3. Unknown reason. Amy just flitters back into Bingo. Bingo's sitting there next to Andy, just wagging his tail.
Weird.
Is there like a sort of cloth around here?
Cloth?
Yeah.
You find a
After
few
hearing that
different...
that used to be a person, she feels compelled to just like cover them up.
There's an open
just
box
for
with
privacy.
known as home goods.
So
in a
she'll
box.
Just take the box and just dump the contents onto the creature. It's buried.
It's a bunch of towels and frocks.
So
It's now
we
covered
just-
in white linen.
So we just kicked the shit out of this poor creature, reduced it to a bloody mess, and then you just
Dump a
buried
bunch
it
of
in garbage.
linen on it.
It was linen.
We should light it on fire now.
Oh, good idea. It could be like a Viking ceremony.
You can try.
Pop out a pyro bullet. No. Alright, we should get back to the main room. All right,
Yeah.
I'll ask Andy, are you done with the computer stuff?
The system is ready for reboot.
So
Cool.
I've gotten to the bridge door at this point.
Yep.
The bridge door opens.
You hear a gust of air, which is the atmosphere in the room resetting, which is what you were told to do. No one's been in this room in
Yep.
decades. The air, you hear buzzing, it's the VTRAC system, and all the lights start turning on.
Okay.
You make your way over. You see that the systems start to power up. It said, you hear a automated voice saying, "System powering up. Takes 3 minutes."
I go straight to what looks like the main console. Grab my special spiffy drone
Yep.
ship. Let's take a good look at what we got here. And plug it in.
Roll.
10. That would be plus what? Intelligence or
Where's
My
more
ship.
intelligence?
I'd say intelligence.
15.
Your droid starts to analyze. All of a sudden, a warning comes up around the computer. Wireless download not approved. SCS data secure. The drone all of a sudden cannot access the system. It's reading it as a hostile invader. This was done during the days of the lunar conflict. 20 years after it.
Okay. So ship,
You talking to your ship or the ship?
my ship.
Okay. Yeah, you can open a comm link.
Well, my ship is right through my drones and everything else.
Yep.
Okay.
He responds.
Ship. I know your systems are a little bit more advanced now than this thing is. Let's take control
Of the ship?
of the station.
It can hack.
It can.
It would require rolls.
Yeah, and you'd have to roll at a disadvantage. This is military grade encryption designed against AI.
I just bought a military grade computer for my ship.
I know, but like I said, it's still going to be at disadvantage. It's a
Yep.
DC 17 to get into this thing's systems.
I will try. Okay. So, I rolled a 17 and a 16.
So,
Jesus.
So,
is the
plus intelligence,
luckiest
plus 5
fucking
for intelligence.
Disadvantage roll.
So, do I hack the system?
So many beds.
yep, this was the crew quarters for the ships and navigation.
That one, I can hold 3 people. That's fancy.
It's probably where all the big fancy scientists
What the
go.
fuck? First priority is stabilize the power system.
So as you guys are approaching, this is the way in. You notice that Bingo stops for a second. And over by you, a projector kicks on and Amy shows up in front of you.
Hi, Amy.
I received warning saying computer systems accessed
Well, yeah,
by
you,
not
want,
proof people.
you wanted me to fix the system, right?
That does not require direct interface.
Amy is now looking kind of serious. The ball in her hand is dark blue now.
Well,
She's in defensive mode.
how does it not require direct interface? You
Mechanical.
want me to fix your power system, but if I can't fix your power system, if I don't have control over your systems here,
Mechanical issue will fix problem. No require on data communication.
It's a mechanical issue. That's what she's telling you. Andy can fix the mechanics and fix it. There's no need for you to get in the system, and that's what Amy's telling you. She rolled a
but you
night.
said we had to go into the I'm gonna.
Amy is staring
I'm
at you.
I'm gonna use logic on this thing.
There is no direct data access required for the mechanical fix for the ion drive facilitator. Any another attempt to access system will lead me to administer safety protocols for data protection against spies, lunar wraiths, cultists, pirates. Thank you.
As she smiles and then blips back out, you
Oh
see.
boy, I sure do hope no conflict is being started as we walk in.
Well, see, I mean, you said take control. That was your exact wording.
Yep.
So that's what she read, and that's why she showed up. And as you see that, the monitor you're looking at shuts down. Complete power out. The systems are still alive. All those systems are awake and everything. That monitor you were on is shut down.
Okay.
But, yep. Now roll another time for your droid. I'm going to see what it got before that. But that's
Oh,
that's cocked.
cocked.
Reroll, yep.
6, 11.
What the droid was able to get, and you can now read this. Now that's
Actually,
not.
sorry, that's a 9.
Okay.
So that would be 14.
Okay. So with that, you get a lot of data. Now, it wasn't a pure transfer, so a lot of it is incomplete. Only about 20% of the data it was able to read is readable.
Okay.
And basically, it has some chemical formulas, some science, some lab
I don't
experiments.
understand any of it. I
Yep.
don't care. I'm just logging it for later.
Yep.
Scientists can do whatever they want with it later. I
But
make
it
money off
was-
stuff.
But that's all it was able to get before the system booted it out, and Amy's safety redundancies were activated.
What the fuck? What happened? I thought you were gonna take control.
You actually hear the computer saying,
The AI safety protocols are intensive. Any attempt would have caused backward feedback, possible viruses.
like, Amy is a government security AI first and foremost. And that's what her safety protocols would dictate.
Then I will text on my cuff without verbalizing so that it doesn't go through anything that the other systems here can pick up on. Scan Core AI.
You want to tell that?
To what the fuck?
Make another roll at disadvantage. Mind you, you have to clear 19 now.
Let's see. That would be that would be an 18 plus 5 or a 9 plus 5, which would be
At
14.
disadvantage, so 14. No.
Yep.
You see the system tries, you see a little loading screen from your iPad saying it's trying, and then a few seconds later, the attempted scan stops. And then the computer says, from your AI, from what the fuck, says, system is being cautious and very aggressive if I keep trying to scan its systems.
Oh. Okay. I'll go out to the group.
Yep, they just about arrive right now.
Hey guys, I got a question for you.
You notice that we all look like we've gotten the shit kicked out of us.
Yeah, we do post
What the
fight.
fuck happened?
Or at least we do. I don't think you got hit in that fight, but like I've got a chunk taken out of one of my shoulder plates, and man, looks like a
Well, damn.
Rand says, remember those creatures climbing on the walls in the atrium? They came into engineering.
Oh, okay.
We had a run-in with two of them. One went down really easy. The other,
The
well, it
other
grabbed
one-
him. I tried to grab it off of him, but it grabbed me, and then we were just kind of stuck together for a second.
Yeah, its head completely like turned around and just latched onto him.
So it seems as though the system lied to us.
What do you mean?
Well, they said that we would get access and that they would help us out, but when I went to get access, they shut me off. They just want me to fix it and do their own thing with it. They don't want us to really be here for it. So,
Do you
My
think
choice-
that's why
my-
that guy didn't want to come with us?
so my question for you guys is, so what do you want to do?
Andy just goes up to
Okay.
one of the terminals and starts prepping the energy transfer.
Well,
My general idea is, hey, salvage. I don't even care if I have to purge the AI core. What do you guys want?
I want that black stuff that that Laz guy told me about that's in Lab 3. He told
Well-
me it would advance my nanotech.
That would be perfectly fine. I'd be willing to give you your entire lab on this thing. You know, we can make this into our new base. But the AI here doesn't like me.
Then
It doesn't
program
want
it.
us
You
to
know
take
it's
control.
listening to you through
Uh-huh.
bingo?
Oh, I am completely aware that it's listening to me.
I will say, although was previously considered derelict, this is coalition property, so
Yeah.
you'd probably need to go through some channels to.
It was already abandoned. It's considered a lost space station, and I was already given salvage rights to it. I asked when we went there, can I salvage it if there's no one living there? There's only one person living here who's not even considered a living person anymore. So, I am making it well known. This is me metagame talking right now. I am making it well known that I am willing to work with this AI, but if the AI doesn't want to work with me, then I'll purge it. And I'm going to take this place over or destroy it. I don't fucking care.
I'm just saying, I think you'd have to talk to somebody about laying claim to it.
I already did. I was given salvage rights on this mission. This is
Was that at the end of last session? That might just be me being blurry
Yeah,
on
end
it.
of last session too. I said, okay, so we could salvage it if there's no one living there. And the answer was yes.
Alright, yeah. I was kind of a little blurry on last session.
And I was
Or
given
end of
salvage
last session.
rights.
If no one was living there, but there are technically 3 residents or 2 residents, however you want to put it.
How do you figure? A
The
dog
AI
is
is
not
still
considered a
considering its
resident.
operation.
An AI is technically illegal and not considered a citizen or given any rights. So that would not be a resident.
But
And the resident is no longer human. So when you're looking at all the actual legal perspective of it, this is a salvage area, isn't it?
I think legally you'd be able to lay full claim to this area. I just think we're going to get a mighty amount of resistance.
Eh?
At
So-
this moment, Amy pops up and says, "System ready for energy distribution." You also do realize that over here, I'll just put it over here for example, is one of those receivers. And you hear Laza's voice.
Is everything going all right?
Oh, everything's fine except your AI doesn't like me.
It can be temperamental. Its degradation is still including. If it doesn't get its energy core transferred, it will eventually corrupt itself.
Well, then, my main decision right now, then, that I'm trying to decide is, do we shut it down? Or are we going to repair it? And that's really up to the AI at this point. Does it want to work with me or against me?
The AI is actually not looking at you. It's actually looking over at Andy, who's on
Yeah.
the computer typing away. You actually do hear some beeping coming from the back ends of the ship. It seems like basically just an approval for the Drenergy transfer. And all of a sudden you hear some beeping over the intercom with Laza, who says,
I see that the energy is ready to be transferred. I don't know what your plans are for later, but is the transfer still good to happen?
As far as I know?
Well, without the
Excellent.
transfer, the place is going to blow up. So,
Yeah.
regardless of how we're moving forward, that's probably a good thing to do.
Yeah.
I understand.
My first, and I'll, on open comm, my first priority is to stabilize this place. Second priority is I would love to make use of this place in order to further research for Cherry's nanite technology and for bettering the What the Fuck channel. So if the AI and stuff here wants to work with me with it, then I will be more than happy to fund this place, update it, renovate it, fix it all up, and make this into a fantastic station in order for it to do what I need it to. But if it doesn't want to work with me, then I'm just going to leave, and I'll leave it as dead as it needs to be.
at this moment you see Amy finally speaks up after looking at Andy for a minute.
Energy transfer starting.
Excellent.
And
Because, girl,
you-
you're
and you watch
salvage
as-
at this point.
Hmm?
Because, girl, I'm sorry, you're salvage at this point.
You see that the energy projector and Buddy's collar, which is connected to his tactical vest, stop brightening up. Amy starts kind of glitching out for a minute, and you watch as the particles, literally, this entire thing blows up, and all of a sudden the particles get drawn to Bingo, who you watch goes into his photon form, and the particles go into it. You watch as the energy pulses in the room a little bit. You watch as Andy sets, calls out behind his shoulder as he's on a monitor. Energy is going through all the subsystems. Should be dispersing. The ion drive is shutting down now.
Cool, I thought we were about to get attacked.
Nope. And a moment later, you watch as Bingo goes back to his form, and then Amy shows up.
We are no longer in risk of exploding.
No, there was no
Fantastic.
explosion. So Amy then says, I now have a corporal body to be free. My mission is completed. What happens to the station? At this moment, though, you start to hear laughter from the receiver for Lazo. And all of a sudden, Andy starts, you see him typing on the computer. Guys, the energy is being redistributed through the system, not according to what was scheduled.
Wasn't it just purging excess?
It was, but it's where it's being directed that is the problem. It's some of the more older subsystems that haven't been accessed since. All of a sudden, the receiver beeps.
Thank you for your assistance, travelers. I understand that you might want the station for your channel, and you are nice enough to even help the AI. But unfortunately,
At this moment, you start to hear what sounds like suiting up sound. And after a few moments, you hear the voice on the intercom for Laza change. It sounds like he puts on a respirator of some type. And then you hear, this is much better than I used to sound like.
Oh man, he sounds like Darth Vader now.
I must thank you in your never-ending kindness, like the heroes of your channel, helping out those in need.
You hear Andy all of a sudden say, the power is being rerouted to the escape pod room 2. One of the only
weren't
last
these-
escape pods that was
Oh.
there.
I'm gonna say, weren't all those lost?
One on each side of the pods were there.
The data degradation that the AI was going was never actually degradation. I was deleting data.
At this moment, Andy all of a sudden gets what appears to be a direct download from inside the facility from a monitor.
What the fuck? That drone that's circling around you? Send it out to outside, and if anything tries to leave this base, shoot it down.
Do you do that? As you go outside, as the drone goes outside, all of a sudden you see from the charge batteries of Lab basically 2, the iodes on top for the ionic drive charge intentionally. Your drone is shot by a lightning bolt that shocks it into unconsciousness. You can collect it if you wish. The iode located above the corner of the dock.
So as it comes out of here,
It was
the iode
charged.
from Lab 2.
The power is redirected through the system on the underground electric waves. So the ion drive, it doesn't destroy your drone, but it's a negative charge that deactivates your drone the minute it leaves the dock. Like he was planning that.
You just made a fucking mistake, man.
Hold on. Where was this guy?
You don't know where he is now.
Okay. Where were
He
we?
seems to be talking
Where
to
were we
Receiver.
being told he was staying? Because I remember.
Lab 1 was his home. And he says, "Do not worry. I can't do that too much. Just enough time so I can go back to my family." It was still in its
Booking it.
infancy. You realize the doors that you came in through shut and lock. I've already been having plenty of time to be inside of the systems. And unfortunately, you didn't take the relays with you, which I hate to tell you, were not relays. Those were trapped explosive devices, which are now set off to go off in a couple hours. I would wonder if you're technologically savvy enough to deactivate them, if you could even get back to engineering. But, as a favor for you, I will unlock all the doors I have access to, and allow you to try to make it back to your ship. But to answer the question I saw on the recording about what happened to Dr. Malbine, well, maybe I should send you the video.
Oh, please do. I love videos.
He sends you a video.
I'm punching the door, trying to get it
The door
through.
to engineering is
I
locked.
grab my pyro gun and toom, toom.
Honestly, this is a security door. They do that to protect the engineering and that. You're not getting through with a hand weapon. You see the video, which is, it says, "Enjoy my greatest hits." From Lab 3, the Death Con room, you see,
While this is happening, I'm
Is it
also
back
typing
when
out
he
on
said
my...
his greatest hits? I thought that he made like songs for us to listen
no,
to.
The
no, it's the
smooth
video.
jazz styling.
It's him
He's
on
gonna,
the
like,
video
serenade us
recordings
to that?
that he deleted off of Amy.
Oh god, I'd
Okay.
be awful if it
My
was like all
ship
sung in that really raspy
Has
voice.
now picked up and started backing out.
The iode is still active. The ship even tells you a lot of ionic discharge out of the front gate right now. It seems to be purging through this iode.
Okay.
The ship will be attacked if you try to leave the dock right now. It can't be sustained for more than about 20 minutes, according to what you said, before the iode burns out.
If it only damaged the drone, my ship
It would
should-
do the same thing to the ship. It would just kill. It would just deactivate it. Negative charge. IMP.
It would need to
basically.
blast the ship with a lot of power to do so.
And it's now, and you watch as lightning bolts are shocking off the iode in front of the entrance. It's one of the ways that's purging the system, but it's being directed not to all the iodes, to one. It's basically an electric field he's making.
All right, fine. You know what? I will give up because you don't have this written in your script for it. But really, in all intensive purposes, if it was only enough to disable the drone and not destroy it,
Yeah.
then the actual shielding of my ship should be more than enough to negate any of that type of effect. Unless it was a directed weapon shot against it.
Well, the
You
thing
do
about
also,
the
I
ion
think,
drive,
have-
it's going after electricity.
You do also, I think, on the sheet have some sort of magnetic shield or
I do.
magnetic
Yeah.
shielding, so that would
Yeah.
definitely.
I
protect
also
it
have
from
phase
that.
shielding on it and like RF shielding on it.
Okay.
So
It's radiation
realistically, and this is metagame.
Yep.
I'm taking a step back from the game for a moment to state
Yeah.
my thought. What I would have done, okay, would be simply AI ship, have it pull out. If that life pod went off, I have multiple cannons that I can shoot it and take that thing out with.
You can check the camera now. The escape pod is already left.
Yeah.
The minute that the power started, he left.
Yeah.
So you can see it on your scannings as it's going, but it's modified. So it looks to have some type of smaller ion drive, and the minute it gets out of the weight radius, pretty much just getting distance, it shoots off very fast.
Okay, then
Ooh.
if you don't want me to shoot it down, go ahead.
I'm gonna say, we should probably still have active contact with the anchor, unless he's communications jamming
The
us.
ion discharge from the thing, which is now going away. You're starting to get access. You can probably reach out in a few minutes once the full.
Because I was gonna
ion
radio
drive-
to the anchor because they're coming to meet us. Scan the area if you find any sort of escape pods. Joe's character should still be at the ship. They could send Joe's
Yeah.
character after
But
them.
the
Like,
way
this
it looks
guy's
like the
dead.
escape pod was rigged and modified, he's been working on this for years.
Okay.
And you realize
That was
too,
my
with
idea.
the-
I just wanted to
No,
run that
no.
by you.
I mean, like, yes, he's getting away. Let's put it that way. And because he's been planning this for years, the ion discharge basically is not allowing radio symbols. But once that goes away, you could radio to the anchor.
Wait, so if he was trying to escape for years and we gave him the option to escape, to actually...
Yeah, I understand too. I mean, that's my problem with it. This guy's technically advanced enough in order to rebuild an escape pod from a passageway that's been blocked off, in order to make it so it's undetectable.
He only told you it was blocked off. You didn't actually
okay,
verify.
unable to be tracked, unable to be caught, and he set up all these defenses that would have destroyed his own ship trying to escape as soon as he activated it if it would hit a drone going around like that.
Well, yeah, no. He
Okay, and somehow got this drone to escape and be able to radio back to us, but we can't get any identification off of it. We don't have control over the system. I can't shoot at it, and I'm sorry, man. This is kind of a plot hole.
Well, I mean, if your whole purpose was to go after him, but the thing is, I will explain if you wish. The ion outside the hangar, it was supposed to vent through all of them. He set it to that one to keep you guys from going after him. The radio communication you will have with the anchor once the ion drive shuts down, that was the interference. That was why you wouldn't be able to read in or out of the scanning
Okay,
centers.
that I can give you credit
Okay.
for, yeah.
So, and mind you, he just sent you his greatest hits on his way out. Before he got out of communication, which is when you saw him rocket off.
Okay.
So, you can communicate to the anchor, but he has a modified engine that he's been working on for this purpose. And and he did tell you that the bombs are active for 2 hours inside of engineering.
Yeah, the bombs I'm not too worried about. I can send my drones out to just pick them up and take them out.
True. But,
It's 80-year-old technology,
true.
and I have top-of-the-line drones with top-of-the-line software.
Yeah, but you still have to physically move a explosive device in order to move it.
I have drones to do that for me, with all manipulation arms and engineering skill.
Yeah,
They do all have that stuff.
you could try.
Okay.
They're
So-
equipped with all the same weird little grabby claw things as the big
So
ship
my
is.
drones should have no trouble disabling the explosives, especially with 2 hours to do so.
Yep.
Okay, that's why I'm more focused on this guy escaping.
Yeah. But he's been planning this. And yes, he lied to you guys, tried to... Basically, because he didn't want you to know his real plan.
Also, I'd say he's been trapped here by himself for 80 years. He could very well just be kind of nuts.
That's possible, too. But, yep, and on the video, you see that it's video from the event. The first subsystem that go down when the ionic drive was activated was the holding areas for patients 1. The inmates you saw running around were those that escaped.
Oh, so he released them?
He released them after the system went down for a second.
Yeah, I figured as much.
He also, you see him, the inmates he gets together, telling them that he'll help them, and then they grabbed a bunch of the scientists before they made it to escape pods, 4 of them, and put them in the holding tanks. And then they tried to chase Dr. Malbine into Lab 4. She attempted to defend herself, but she was basically in Lab 4, they had augmented human testing. Basically, advanced testing on genetic manipulation for certain purposes.
Okay.
He gave her 4 times the recommended highest dose of this particular...
So it went all Resident
Drug.
Evil.
Yep, and she started mutating. And then one of the inmates ran into a hallway. She chased after him. He locked the door. And that's the hallway leading to Escape Pod 1.
Okay.
EV1, which basically you hear a few beeps in the system as the system is still resetting from the power redistribution, and a click happens. And you hear a door move from motion. as oxygen and atmosphere was to be added to the room.
Okay.
I could use a cigarette. So, yeah, basically he unlocked the door on his way out as well.
Okay.
Oh, to that thing that might have still been frozen?
Yep.
Fun, so we left a present for us.
A couple.
Well, 2, considering he also left bombs.
Yep.
Okay.
So, Amy tells you, according to readings, something is coming down that hallway. She points down this hallway.
Okay.
But at this point, you do see Amy all of a sudden kind of listens for a moment and then says, Ionic engine depowered. System in standby. No longer functioning as environmental lab. And science station.
All right, Amy, give me one good reason why I shouldn't just shut this place down.
My mission is complete. You may do as you wish.
Oh, okay.
She's no longer attached to the... She can read the system, but she's no longer a part of it.
Hey,
System's basically just turned off.
Chip, you heard it. You now have an extension. Get rid of the bombs and anything that's not part of our own personal crew that doesn't look good.
You'd have to, like, use your bot to control the system. Is that right?
Yeah, I only have like 100 different drones I could use for it.
Yeah, but at this moment, you guys hear something coming down the hallway. So I just want to grab my
Doesn't
Nick.
sound-
Oh, does the door unseal?
Yeah.
The door that I've just been kicking the shit
No,
out of.
well, no, that's still sealed.
Oh, okay.
But the door leading to evac pod room 1.
Why are you just kicking a random door?
It's the way out.
Okay, that makes sense, I guess.
It closed and locked behind us. I was trying to... My hope was to maybe bust through it and then get to him before he got out so I could kick the shit out of him. But it's a military-grade door, so
Yeah.
not really happening.
So, all right. Is there anything anyone wants to do before taking on the station boss at the moment? Really?
No?
Let's just get out of here before we blow up. Although I would say, since he's leaving now and therefore can't fuck with the station anymore, we could theoretically ask Amy to head back into the system and reroute it the way it was supposed to be, so we're not dealing with all the electricity upstairs.
She tells you that ionic discharge is now inactive. There's no field.
Oh, so it shut down.
All the blue orbs down the ceiling, she can show you a video.
Oh, so
of
it shut down
Shut
once he
down.
was gone?
Well, no, that was why the power is redistributing. You're not going to turn into a denuclearized ionic cloud.
Well,
That was the
since
feel.
we're all in this nice enclosed bridge that's sealed and the doors are sealed and we're stuck in here, then just vent the rest of the station. Oh, sorry. But I'm going to go for a cigarette.
Is the live stream paused for them?
Yeah. Want me to stop it?
I still see it.
Want me to stop it?
Put it on
Alright.
pause for now.
Then we'll be back.